Hello again, Bill Herman with the Entertainment Experience and this week's version of Creative License. Hope you've been enjoying the podcasts so far. I'd love to know what you think. Certainly email me at bill@billherman.com. You can check out my workshops if you'd like to know more about those, entertainment-experience.com, or just reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to find, and if you got questions, we can even talk on the phone. I'd like that. Today's Creative License is, what am I going to talk about today? Really, what I'm going to talk a little bit about today is expectations, or what's a better way to say it? What we believe is a successful evening as a DJ. Okay, and I think most of us will say that as a DJ, a successful party is a rager. Okay, it's a party that starts out like a snap. It's like, boom, it's going. All right. People are excited. They're smiling. They're dancing. Okay. And then you're building them and you're building them and you're building them and you take them here and you take them here and you take them there and you build them down and you build them up and you build them up and you got them screaming and you got them singing and cheering and clapping and going nuts and you bring them down. And by the end of the evening, by the time you're done, you've got this party that's just going crazy. People are tearing their shirts off. They're hanging from the chandeliers. They're pouring beer on each other. There's mess. I mean, it's a crazy college type fraternity party. That's a DJ's dream, man. I mean, Bill, we love you, man. One more song, go another one. Come on, you can do it. We love you. That's our party, man. That's we know we were successful when that happens, right? Right? Well, if that is true, then think back to the last time, and I know it's happened to almost all of us, that you had a rager like that, but then later you had a client that had comments that were less than stellar, that they were unhappy with one thing or another. They didn't like this, they didn't like that. You didn't play a song, but you did. You didn't do this, but you did. They're like, it was okay, but you know for a fact it was crazy. See, the problem is, usually around that is because you've been seeing your party. Really. You've been seeing your success. You came to the party to be successful, to see your version of a successful party. And what you didn't do is spend some time ahead of time with your client so they could really define what their version of a successful party is. Believe it or not, especially when you're doing private parties, that are birthday parties or anniversaries or wedding receptions, you know, those things that pay a little bit better, okay? The ones where you can get some reputation and build something where you can make more money than you're usually making when you're working at a bar or at a college fraternity party or a high school dance. You know, those things have their expectations as well. And you can even probably find that sometimes a high school dance, you'll have complaints as well because you were building it for you. See, that's what it really comes down to, isn't it? So did you do the party to really have a successful you party because it was about you? It's about what you wanted. You worked really hard to get that thing that you know is successful for you? Or did you take enough time with your client, whether it be 1 day, 2 days, 5 hours, whatever it is, so that you know exactly what they want to see when they're done? Without putting any of your stuff into it, without kind of talking them into your ideas, without leading them into, oh, and you want a big raging party, right? No, really, honestly, getting to know and really understanding what is successful for them. Let me give you an example. I did about 10 years ago, I did a wedding for a couple that got married at a church, and then they came to a place called the St. Paul, the Como Zoo. It was at the Como Zoo, the Como Zoo Conservatory in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's a nice place. An upper room, not a lot of windows in this room, pretty dark, in fact. And we were at their meeting, going over stuff, and we got to music, which is like, music, that's where I start getting excited, right? Which is where we all get excited. So I'm like, okay, we can do this, we can do that, we love this. So, and then, well, I don't know, I've got a few examples of things that I would like to hear, they said. And I went, oh, okay, well, tell me what they are. We'll put it on your I want to hear list, because, we'll get them in there in that raging party, right? Well, then they started to list off all of these songs that they loved, that were acoustic songs. There's a radio station here in the Twin Cities about 9 years ago called Cities 97. Cities 97 was a groundbreaking radio station and a format that was designed here and went all over the United States. But it was cool. Sting got played in this thing, or acoustic versions of Sting's music. They had a show that was like their most popular show was Acoustic Sunrise and Acoustic Sunset, where it was nothing but acoustic versions of songs that we like. Nothing raucous, all music you would listen to while you're sitting on the deck, drinking a glass of wine, watching the sun go down, enjoying outdoors on the deck at the lake. Nothing raucous, just kind of cool, man. It's almost smooth jazz, but hopefully a lot cooler. I thought it was cool. I liked the station a lot. So they're listing off all this stuff, and I said, so it sounds like you really like Cities 97. She goes, exactly. That's exactly what I want all night long. Nothing but music from Cities 97, the acoustic jazz stuff. We'd love that. And I kind of looked at him like this, and my face started to fall, and my eyes got wide, and I'm like, nobody's going to dance to that, right? Well, no, me and my friends, we'll dance. No, okay, you and your friends. So that's you and your husband. You're both into this stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, man, I love this stuff. I said, okay, so great. So we got 300 people coming. How many of your friends? Well, people in the wedding party. I said, okay, so that's 8 on one side and 8 on another, 16 plus you guys. That's 18. And everybody likes this, just like you. Oh, yeah, we all do. I said, okay, now we're up to 18 people. And let's just say that another 10 people in the room really dig this music. Well, no, it's not 10, it's more like 20. I said, okay, 20. So now you've got 36 people out of 300 that are going to be into this music. And they're going to dance? Well, not dance to every song, but, we really dig it, so we want to hear that. I said, okay, but you get that if I do this, you're not going to dance much, your friends aren't going to dance much, and by 9:30, after dinner, ending around 8, you won't have anybody. I mean, it might be you and your 36 friends, but really, it's just nobody's going to stay. And they went, oh, that's okay. I disagree with you, but it's going to be, people are going to love it. And what we really want to do, because I started to actually pay attention and start listening, what they said was that what they really wanted to do was to share their music and the stuff that they loved with all of their friends and explain to them why they love it. And they want to share this with them, their style of music, their soundtrack for the night, okay? And we had a dance floor. We had a head table, dance floor in front of it. Everybody's built in and around on the outside of it. There's a big dance floor. When it's all done, I introduce them for their first dance, and then she has her father-daughter dance, and he dances with his mom. And then I say, okay, my friends, the rest of the evening is a special evening that's been chosen for you from our couple. They are really into the format we're going to play with you. It's very interesting and cool, and what we want you to do, we've got special wine that we've got for you. Everybody get a glass of wine, and then we're going to open up the curtains, the windows of this place, and we're going to watch the sun come in, and we're going to really enjoy this really cool soundtrack that they have picked out for you tonight. So enjoy, and have a good time. And in my head, I'm like, and they're going to ruin their party. Ugh. And I did that. And people got wine, and they went around and they talked to the bride and the groom. They talked to each other, and it's like a cocktail hour for about an hour. And then by 9:30, exactly what I said was going to happen happened. Everybody was gone. Everybody except for the bride and the groom who hadn't danced to one song. Their friends who really hadn't danced to anything. They're just sitting around like they were out on a deck on the lake, listening to their tunes, sipping their wine. And I played that all night until 11:30 when we said goodnight. They hugged me at the end of it. They thanked me at the end of it. And this couple, who I gave exactly what they thought as their successful evening, has sent me more work in the last 10 years than any couple that I've ever worked with. Way more than any of the ragers. The ones where the groom and the bride are being lifted up to moni or shout or anything like that at the end of the night, and they're pouring beer on each other, and the groom's tearing off his t-shirt, and people are, ah! Okay, those parties are great, and I love them, but they haven't given me half as many referrals as that one did. So what does that teach you? What has that taught me? It taught me that I get to my planning meetings and I make sure I know exactly what they think a successful evening is. Because most of the time, It doesn't fit what I think it's going to be. It doesn't fit what I think is success. You give success, they'll pay you. They'll tell everybody about you, and you are very valuable. Now, if you have opinions about this, I would love to know what they are. Write them in the comments below. Email me at bill@billherman.com. Check out my website if you'd like. Actually, check out my workshop, because we still have seats available in the workshops coming up. Entertainment-experience.com. I would love to have you be a part of that. Otherwise, I'll see you next week on Creative License.